Yeah, let's introduce it from outtake. The first candidate, Barry Lawson, 5th Suffolk House District. Barry, podium is yours.
Thank you so much, and let me thank you for coming out here this evening on a summer evening when I know there are many other things to do. Let me also thank you for that wonderful, wonderful meal. It's you know, many of my workers tell me, and my mother is in town today, she says, you got to eat more. And I'm like, it's very hard to do, but I want to thank you for that and for your warm welcome, many of you that I met when I came in. I'm going to call you brothers and sisters because I am one of you. I have been a union rep for the Boston Teachers Union for 3 different high schools. That's unprecedented. And the reason that I represented 3 different staffs is because I represented the interest of protecting a contract, of protecting collective bargaining, of making sure not only that we had good and fair wages, that we had good and fair conditions. I'm here also to tell you that I've also been honored by our brothers and sisters in other unions. And to date, I've been endorsed by the Boston Teachers Union, the Mass Teachers Association, the American Federation of Teachers, the Carmen's Union, the IBEW 2222, the Painter and Allied Trades, and last week I was honored with the endorsement of the Greater Boston Labor Council, and hopefully going on to receive the AFL-CIO endorsement. I'm a union person, and just as you said, that the PATCO strike was a very significant part of what people see as a decline in the unions. As a history teacher, year after year, for my 23 years of teaching history, I've had to tell young people what unions are, why they were necessary, and why they are still necessary. And that was a significant event. We have been on our heels ever since. But we know one thing, that these people up on Beacon Hill and these people in the media that speak against unions, you only need to go back 1 or 2 generations in their family to find union members that gave them their start, that gave them their foundation. And it's very easy to forget when you are not connected with them. I come before you tonight to ask you for your help. I am running to represent the 5th Suffolk District. It was a newly created district in 1986, and to date it is the lowest voting district in the state out of 160. We've lost our voice. Currently, our state representative, Marie St. Fleur, resigned that position. So it is now a vacancy. So in real terms, we are at the lowest point we could possibly be. The good news about that is there's only one way to go, and that's up. My motto is community first. We have the highest unemployment, the highest infant mortality, the highest AIDS rates, the highest incarceration rate, male, female, adolescents. We have the highest interest rates if we can get loans, and we have the lowest public and private investment in infrastructure. All of these things relate to jobs, potentially union jobs. When you look at our unemployment rate, many people don't speak up. On the national level, they speak of unemployment being around 9%, and in this state, hovering around 9.5%. But in real terms, in my district, you multiply that by 4, because that's what we have. And when you look at the young people, many of whom I have lost, former students and current students, that did not have an alternative to have jobs, to have a future, to have a pathway to college, to have a pathway to citizenship. Several weeks ago, I stood out at a vigil in the State House, an 11-day vigil. I didn't stay there the 11 days, but I was there for the bulk of one day, saying that, you know, people that have invested in this community, have invested and paid taxes, many of them, that are not able to receive benefits from them. It is unfortunate that we will educate them up to grade 12, and then after grade 12, we are no longer interested. I am certainly interested. That is a pathway to citizenship, and I think their contribution should be recognized. And when I get up on the Hill, I'm going to make sure that that equity is resolved. I'm going to end with one of my favorite quotes. It's by John Kennedy. And I think it applies to all the people in Dorchester and my philosophy in serving in politics and public service, where I started my first job in 1978 in my senior year in Boston University as a legislative aide. I'm the only candidate in this race, and I believe all the races, who has worked in the House of Representatives, who has worked in the state senate, who has served on a governor's staff, and served as a policy advisor and communications director for city council serving this district. I have trained for this position. And just as we want people working in jobs that they have trained for, it's no different in this business. John Kennedy said, "My call is to young at heart, regardless of age, to the stout in spirit, regardless of party, to all who respond to the scriptural call, be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be dismayed. For courage, not complacency, is our need today. Leadership, not salesmanship. And the only valid test of leadership is the ability to lead and lead vigorously." I ask you tonight to help me lead, to help my district. Thank you.
For questions, we have some suggested questions if it was just up to in terms of the direction and where you might want to ask for it, but feel free to ask whatever question you would like. And we'll allow a few.
Hi, my name is Rachel Little. I'm unit steward at Boston City Hall in the Law Department. I just would like you to clarify this, looking at the information that was provided for us. On the issue of supporting finding arbitration for public employers, on the comparison that the answer is no, but it looks like in your paperwork it said yes, so you can clarify that for us.
Yes. I support binding arbitration. I think when you agree to binding arbitration, that you should abide by that. We saw in the city of Boston, a reneging on that, which is unfortunate. As a teacher, we made a deal. We had a contract. And as a result of this Education Reform Act, and I think because of the shortage of teachers up there able to talk about it, currently we have 17 schools that have lost their collective bargaining rights. That's incredible. And we have the potential next year of having another 18 schools where we've lost our bargaining rights. So, when you cut a deal, you cut a deal, stick by it.